Good evening, Mount Vernon. Today is October 23rd, Wednesday. I would just like to go over a few housekeeping details. We have an exit in the rear to your right. There is a staircase beyond the exit. In case of emergency, we have an exit to the front of the room to your right. Beyond that, we have the rotunda stairs that also is an access for emergency exit. There is a ladies' room right outside the front door here. There is a men's room right by the rotunda stairs. At the rotunda stairs, outside the planning board room, there is an AED machine. That is an artificial defibrillator machine in case of emergency. I would just like everybody in the room to please, I have to do it myself, silence your cell phones. We're going to start the evening off with a public hearing regarding bamboo legislation. But before we do that, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So I would like everybody to stand and Ed Poteet, Councilman Poteet, to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now we're going to have the public hearing session. And before we have the public hearing session, I'm going to have Deputy Clerk Nicole Bonilla read it into the record.
Thank you, Council President. Today, October 23rd, there is a public hearing by the Mount Vernon City Council, a public hearing for a proposed local law to enact Chapter 90, quote unquote, bamboo of the Code of the City of Mount Vernon to ban running bamboo. The public notice was advertised in the Journal News 3 times on October 15th, October 17th, and October 21st, and was also available in the Rotunda and on our website.
Thank you so much. Does that constitute the call of the meeting? Okay, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Present.
Councilwoman Brown,
Here.
Councilman Potteet,
Sure.
Councilman Thompson is absent, Council President Gleason.
Here. With that being said, Deputy Clerk Bonilla, do we have any correspondence in regards to the bamboo legislation?
No, the city clerk's office did not receive any written correspondence regarding the public hearing for the bamboo ordinance.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody online? Well, actually, I should say, is there anybody here in council chambers who would like to speak in favor of this bamboo legislation? If so, Mr. Len Sarver, please stand up, state your name and your address. You have 3 minutes and then an additional minute to state.
Okay. My name is Len Sarver. I'm at 12 Carwell Avenue, and the place looks terrific. I haven't seen the paint job and the floor. I have a neighbor who planted bamboo years ago, and at the time we planted it, I even offered him like $1,000 or $2,000 to get rid of it, because I know that it's an invasive species and it travels unless it's planted properly. It wasn't planted properly, so consequently, I had quite a bit of bamboo growing in my yard, which I had to, cut down. Eventually, I ended up paying for a contractor to trench my perimeter along his house so that I could put a barrier in so it wouldn't migrate as much as it had. Still migrates a little, but I'm not the only one who suffers. Other neighbors have the same situation. And especially in the growing season, I see everyone cutting their bamboo from their own yards and putting it out on the street for pickup on Friday. So I know that in many cases, this is grandfathered simply because it was planted prior to the state banning bamboo, which I think they have now. But I would like to ensure that the law also says that the person, even if they had planted it years ago, is still responsible, that it cannot migrate or will not migrate to other neighbors' yards, and they will be responsible for that. I just spent a lot of money. I know my neighbors are unhappy about it. So if you can, please pass the law and ensure that the person who planted that bamboo is also responsible to ensure that it doesn't migrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sarver. Is there anybody else in council chambers who would like to speak in favor of the bamboo legislation? Mr. Peters? Well, I'm going to say Pete Towing, but
My name is Peter Tsahalis. I know a little bit about bamboo because I've studied it years ago. It's a very invasive, one of the most invasive plants in our world. And its root system grows horizontal and it spreads fast, very fast. Extremely hard to get rid of. Like the gentleman said, you have to put a physical barrier. And it does a lot of good for hardwood, and it grows at 2 inches a day, excuse me, up to 2 inches a day in Malaysia. They still use it for scaffolding and other structural things. It's a great product, but not in our backyard. It's horrible. Henry May and I discussed this a little while ago. He's in the committee for trees and whatnot, you know. Thank you.
thank you so much. Is there anybody else in council chambers who would like to speak for the bamboo legislation? Is there anybody else in council chambers who would like to speak in favor of the bamboo legislation? Is there anybody else in council chambers who would like to speak in favor of the bamboo legislation? Is there anybody online who would like to speak in favor of the bamboo legislation? Is there anybody online who would like to speak in favor of the bamboo legislation? One more time, is there anybody online who would like to speak in favor of the bamboo legislation? With that being said, I will entertain anybody in chambers who would like to speak against the bamboo legislation. Is there anybody in council chambers who would like to speak against the bamboo legislation? Is there anybody in council chambers who would like to speak against the bamboo legislation? With that being said, is there anybody online who would like to speak against the bamboo legislation? Anybody online who would like to speak against the bamboo legislation? Third time. Is there anybody who would like to speak online against the bamboo legislation? Okay. With that being said, I will entertain any motions.
Council President, I move to close this public hearing.
Second.
On the question. No questions being heard. Roll call regarding closing the hearing on the bamboo legislation.
Okay, Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye. Okay, with that being said, I will entertain a motion to approve the bamboo legislation. Not yet?
Same night.
I'm sorry?
We don't vote the same night on the legislation.
No vote? Okay, we are going to vote on the next meeting. Okay, with that being said, we are going to go into our regular referral packet. We have already done the Pledge of Allegiance. We are going to go into public speaking. Hold on, let me get my list. I do not have the public speaking list. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna start with Tserla Devana Fernando. Please forgive me if that is incorrect. Please state your name, your address. You have 3 minutes and then an additional minute to be able to make your comments. Go right ahead.
Good evening. My name is Tassila Cavana Fernando. I live at 67 Lorraine Terrace condominiums. I am the president of the board presently. I'm just going to speak about 3 points that are very, very important and very urgent, we feel, and is also a health and safety issue. The first one is the street lights on Lorraine Terrace. It has been discussed back and forth over a period of time that the lights are owned by the city of Mount Vernon. Presently, we have a light at 17 that is out, completely out, needs to be completely taken out. There's no guts on the bottom. It doesn't work anymore. And your custom box, your electrical box is buried somewhere on Lorraine Terrace and we can't locate it. Con Edison was out last week because DPW sent someone out. So I'm asking if you can replace the light at 17 because it's very dark, it's very unsafe, and anyone could get hurt or injured. And the light at 61 has been out almost 2 months. I've been calling DPW. The property manager has also reached out to the commissioner. I've been speaking with Philip, the project director. Con Edison came out, they did find the buried box, they did find the box for that, and the power is working. As of today, it's still not on the light, so it is a health and safety issue. Number 2, at the end of the cul-de-sac, it's a dead-end street, and near 81, right next to the parking lot, we call it the 81 parking lot, is a overgrown vegetation that is owned predominantly, the property of land is owned by the city of Mount Vernon. Since I've been president, I did have DPW out. I did have the buildings department out. It is so overgrown that there is a bench in the middle of it. Trees are down and it is just so overgrown. And we do have pictures. If you allow me, I can email them to
Absolutely.
the city council. Thank you. And lastly, we have a tree in front of 67 Lorraine Terrace on your property across the street that has
Can you say that address again?
67 Lorraine
Thank you.
Terrace. Lorraine Terrace condominium runs between 7 and 81 Lorraine Terrace. And on 67, we have a tree there that just needs you guys to come out and, assess it, give it some attention, make sure it's still alive, because we've had branches as long as cars fall twice. And it's another safety and health issue. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Next on the list, we have Marvin Robbins. State your name, your address, and you have 3 minutes and 1 additional minute to be able to express yourself. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Marvin Robbins. I'm also from 67 Lorraine Terrace. Proud owner. I've been there for about 8 years at Lorraine Terrace. Nice, quiet, dead end block, but it's this ongoing situation where the community keeps asking for assistance with the vegetation, the trees collapsing, the end of the block. It depreciates the value at 81 when you go to sell because of the vegetation, and it's owned by Mount Vernon. And we continue to reach out, and there's like no communication back and forth. And you get individuals that say, "Yeah, we're going to be out," and everybody comes out to assess, but no one really addressed the issue. So we felt as if today, you know what, we're going to make it our business to come here today to put it in the minutes so that we could try to get some kind of results. But no lights. The vegetation, and what else? And the trees collapsing. That's it. We don't ask for much. The 78 units there, 78 owners, mostly two families, over 100 Democrats there. We're just asking for somebody to look out for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robbins. One of the things that I was remiss in saying that council will respond at the end of all the speakers. Okay, so the next speaker up is, well, Mr. Sarver. Did you want to come up again and speak regarding the bamboo, or you're good? Okay,
No, I have one question.
you can get up.
Yes.
You have your minutes.
I see on the law, like it does say that the owner of the property who has bamboo is not permitted to have it migrate. Is there any penalty involved in this or is it just the law?
Okay, so we'll answer that at the end. And if we don't have the answer, we'll research it and let you know.
Get back. Thank you.
Okay. Next is, I'm gonna call you Pete, the tow truck driver. Pete, if you can please stand up, you have 3 minutes. An additional minute to have your comments. Go right ahead, Pete.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, I come in here for a very, very long time before you guys were here. I was in council meetings on a regular basis to try to be active in my community. Very disappointingly, I've been mistreated in Mount Vernon in 1992, if everybody remembers Rodney King. May 13th, 1992, I was beat by the Mount Vernon Police Department. Individuals, just certain party, that was ongoing for a long time. Even though I complained about it, brought it to everyone's attention, nothing was done about it until it happened. Turned into a 3 cases up at the Supreme Court. I had to do it to maintain my business and my mental health. And I wound up appealing it. Cost me over $90,000. I stopped taking track of the money after a while because I even questioned myself. We settled eventually after an appeal and approved our case. I got a little settlement. It was very, very minimal after the lawyers took all the money. Cost the city of Mount Vernon $275,000 from Martino and Weiss to represent them. And that's when I brought it to the administration's attention, and economics guided them to settle. I took that money, invested in property in Mount Vernon. Big mistake. I should have went to New Rochelle or somewhere else. And still to today, I'm paying the price for this mishap. There's things that happen. Administrative people, I've been here before, many times before you guys. Why does everything have to be litigation? Why can't it just be settled regularly? You have the commissioners do their job, sit down and work out a problem. If there's something wrong and somebody brings it to someone's attention, they shouldn't be hit over the head. They should be listened to. They should be corrected. Policy is not law. After a while, people do whatever they want. They get comfortable doing policy. You know, I try to be humble. I try to be nice. I'm of age now. I had heart surgery. I'm ready for retirement, and I don't give a damn anymore. I'm going to take my resources and do what I have to do, and I exit this town if I do, because they're putting me out of business. There's no response from the DPW whenever I have a problem. There's a water main break. It undermines everything in my property, destroys my property. I bring it to everybody's attention. Well, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. I'm talking commissioners and chiefs and whatnot, not the little people. You know, they're all great, the people on the street. I pride myself in having a good reputation in the community and very influential. And I'm getting destroyed. The city neglects to give you any service. It took me 14 years to get my water turned back on. They try to take my property from me. Ladies and gentlemen, I had them come to my door, and the police department smashed my door in with 3 attempts. The 3rd time they did it, because I stopped them each time. They came to my door, broke my door down with sledgehammers. They tried to seize my property. This is America, okay? To give it for financial gain to a certain
You have
part.
1 more minute.
Okay, I'll stop here. I can keep going. I got a laundry list. It gets better and better. I need to sit behind closed doors and discuss things with you council people to represent the city and certain departments. Water department, DPW department, building department, and mostly police department. These problems need to get fixed, not litigated. It's going to cost us. I even have information for Brian Johnson's office that'll help a case that is pending. Good information, but nobody wants to listen. It can derail a case and it could discredit a lousy person, a crooked developer. I thank you for listening, and I hope you guys will talk to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pete. The next person we have on the list is Sade Falabita. Is she in council chambers or online? Sade Falabita?
There's no one online.
Okay, we'll get back to her. Mr. John Fava, if you could please come to the podium, state your name, your address.
Good evening, folks. Name's John Fava, 780 Gramerton Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York. I'm here discussing the Veterans Park that I've been discussing for close to 18 years now. And I was here about 6 months ago, brought the initial thing back up. I can't get a few minutes meeting with the mayor or with anybody else to finalize this park, which comes down to nothing more than a piece of paper on your part. I'm not asking for any money. I'm not asking for any city support, only that once they start doing the construction on this park, I do not want interference by any kind of codes or stuff like that the Labor Department is going to try and infringe on me. And I do not want the park destroyed from being a veterans park for a good 50 years. The men that and women that sacrificed their lives for what we enjoy today deserve to be remembered. And even the members of my post, over 350 of them that were here many years ago, nobody will remember their names now, but yet they very important, building Mount Vernon to what it is. So I do not like to see these issues neglected. I'll be on your case until I can get them done. And it's only a piece of paperwork that I'm looking for. So there's nothing else. Other than the VA director, I've been involved with them on a couple of occasions, information concerning the Gold Star Mother statue that should have been in that park many years ago. That again is going into a multi-year, debate. Why? We hear so many times during veteran days where politicians will come up to the microphone and brag about how much they owe to the veterans. But then during the normal course of the year, we'll neglect giving it even a half hour of our time to negotiate or to talk about. I want to change that. I want the Gold Star Mother Project to be number one, but the information that the VA director is going to have to get on these here women that are deceased now, more than likely, how far back we're going to go is that another, topic of conversation. And she's going to have to look up a lot of information concerning the membership that Mount Vernon has had, because there used to be 7 organizations affiliated with the veterans over the course of the years of Mount Vernon. And I want all of those organizations to be represented in this park. That has not been done. The memorial wall that I want to be built has not been done. So I would like some attention.
You have 1 more minute.
Those. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Again, do we have Sade Falabita? Sade Falabita online, not in council
No.
chambers. Okay, with that being said, I will start with Councilman Potteet, Councilman Box Hill, and then Councilwoman Brown.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you for being here today. As I often say, you could be anywhere. So we're grateful that you're here with us on a Wednesday evening, sharing with us what's happening in our city. Ms. Fernando, thank you for bringing the issues, and Mr. Robbins at 67 Lorraine Terrace. I was looking up the property on my phone while you were talking. Are you sure that the property that you're mentioning in back of the building is owned by the city or owned by the county?
Can you please come to the podium
Thank you, Council President.
We'll allow this. Normally, we don't. But for clarity purposes, there won't be a back and forth.
Oh, no problem. So we identifying it as 81 Lorraine,
Mhm.
but if you actually Google it or if you look it up, because we came here to look it up, it's actually 100 Lorraine Avenue is
Okay,
the exact address for that property. And when that comes back to Mount Vernon.
got it. Okay. You've picked the right venue. We will follow up with DPW and see what their course of action has been and if they can change it to then deal with the needs that you have. The reason that I asked, was it owned by the city or the county, is you're right by Wilson Woods Park. And so some of the issues might be coming from that as well. But again, we will follow up with DPW and see what they've been doing in that area.
So I had the opportunity of running.
Again, I don't want to have a back and forth here.
Problem.
So if we could keep it relatively short,
Oh, yeah. So
thank you.
what we did is I ran a property. If you divide the property, not evenly, but there's a section that belongs to an owner. I went to the owner's house. She lives in City Island. So this part belongs to a private owner,
Got it.
and she was attempting to try to sell it, and this part belongs to, yeah.
Understood. Thank you. Mr. Sachalis? Again, thank you for coming. We love our small businesses here in the city. They're crucial to us. So I'm sorry to hear about the issues that you're having with the various departments here around your business. Please follow up with our aide. Antoinette, is she here today? She sure is. Hey, Antoinette. If you can follow up with our aide around what your specific issues are, and then we'll follow up with her on those issues. And Mr. Fava, thank you for staying on top of us. Veterans are very important to our city. And you've been here quite a few times talking about this park. Thank you for staying on top of us. We will check in with the mayor and just see what the next steps are around that issue. Thank you, Council President.
Councilman Box Hill.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. Ms. Fernando and Mr. Robbins. Yeah. So I don't want to be repetitive, but Councilman Potteet spoke about that. Normally DPW is pretty quick with getting out to those things. So I'm not sure what's going on, but definitely tomorrow morning I'm going to follow up. And you guys please give us a call or email if you don't hear anything back within the next day or two. So thank you for that. Mrs. Sarver, thank you for coming. Nice to see you again. Yeah, so we're all on board with the bamboo. Mr. Pete Shalis, I'm not really familiar with the exact backstory with the issues going on, but we definitely should talk offline. You could fill me in. Yeah, let's talk. So just get my information from Antoinette before you leave, and so let's discuss. Same thing with Mr. Fava. The last time you were here, I did leave an open invitation to let's sit and talk. I don't know if you get my information or not, but let's set up a time where we can sit down and discuss. Because I'm not really sure where this park is going to be, what the details are, or how it's going to be implemented. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to learn about it. So let me know before you leave tonight to get my information so we can sit and talk about it. Did I miss anyone? I think that's it, Madam President. Thank you.
Councilwoman Brown.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. I mean, a lot of things are gonna be repetitive, right? I think for the Lorraine Terrace stuff, it's definitely all DPW. And I heard Councilman Box Hill said that he's gonna follow up with them tomorrow. So what I'll do is, if you don't get a response or anything like that, feel free to follow up. It is within my committee, so I'm happy to step in and have people go out and look at it. But you don't need all five of us to contact DPW. I think he can handle it, right? For Mr. Sarver, to answer your question inside the legislation. So if they don't abide by the legislation, there are violations in there. Starting, I think the initial violation is in between 100 and 500, that they can issue the violation. If it continues, they can up the violation to $1,000. And there's some some language in there saying, obviously, if they can't do it because of inclement weather or something like that, then the buildings department will take that into consideration. However, there is violation, so that it does have teeth to it, so that we don't just say, please don't plant bamboo, and if they don't, we don't do anything. So I hope that answers your question. With regard to Mr. Shallis, I get it. I also, I'm sorry to hear about the difficulties you've been having with the city. It was tough to understand from what you were saying exactly what the specific issues were. But you can also feel free to get my contact information from Antoinette, and I'd be happy to help. All right, I'm the chair of Legislation and Public Works, which has DPW within it. Water Department, I heard you mention the Water Department, and I'm also co-chair of Public Safety and Codes with Councilman Poteet, which covers buildings and PD.
Pete, if you have something to say, please come to the podium so that everybody could hear it. Okay, no
All
problem.
right, so I'm happy to help how I can. Mr. Fava, I do indeed remember you coming 6 months ago. I believe, I can't remember which council member said that they were going to assist. So I'll defer to Council President Gleason. With regard to the Gold Star statute, it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago that I got an update on it, that it's been going on for years. I had no idea. So that is new information for me. I know that some funding had come from our Assemblyman Gary Pretlow. So I will follow up, and I believe we have your information on file. Do we have his information on file? So I can either give you a call if you'd like, or I can have Council President Gleason give you a call about the Gold Star statute when I get more information. Does it work? Cool. I'm good, Council President. Thank you.
Okay, I actually have a lot to say when it comes to a few things. Mr. Fava, you have been an incredible advocate for the veterans. I did a lot of my own research because something that you and I have talked about way before I got on council is this dedication wall. So it turns out that actually council can actually legislate for that. So I am hoping within the next week that you and I can please sit down and go over everything that we need to get done. Okay? Which means, like, if you're available Saturday morning, I know that during the summer you're not around. If you're available Saturday morning, please let Antoinette know what time you're available, because I want to get this done. I feel like that park is such a dedication to the men and women that have fought for our country. And I have told you, I have half my family are service members, mostly Navy. I have one in the Navy that's a corpsman for the Marine Corps. Like, it really is something that I want to advocate for and move forward. I know that we had our challenges in the past that we weren't able to get together, but we have to start doing it now. And I told you that the last meeting. Like, now that I've done all my research, I know that what we can do as council can help actually advocate for you moving forward. So I need you to speak to Antoinette and just determine a time on Saturday morning, or if next week or Sunday morning, whatever works for you, let's get together and get this done. Like, it's about time. If anything, if I leave this council next year, if I don't get reelected, there's a few things that I want to get done. That is what I got the other two done. That is the last thing that I would like to see happen, because I think that too much in our society that we're not respecting our veterans. And it's really important to me personally. So I want to make sure that we get that moving and moving forward. If it's not Saturday or Sunday, let's do it Monday. Miss Fernando, I have already contacted the tree crew. Okay, they were going to evaluate the area over there. And again, Councilman Box Hill said he'll follow up on it, but the tree crew is on it for tomorrow. We'll see what comes up, whether it's county, whether it's city, what have you. If we have to cut it down, clean it up, then that's what we have to do, and we'll send a bill to somebody else. Mr. Sarver, I want to thank you very much. And I want to thank you because you brought attention to an issue regarding bamboo that I was totally oblivious to. Did a lot of research. I'm sorry it took so long to get to where we are, but we're at the place where we hoped for. I didn't see anybody talking against bamboo, so clearly a lot of people did their own research. So I want to thank you, because a lot of times we sit on council, we might not know, we could be everywhere, but we could be nowhere, right? And when you bring attention to something that seems very simple, it becomes a little bit bigger. Like I said, this had to become a law. We had to do public hearing. We're very lucky to have great law counsel regarding it. So I'm glad we're at the point where we need to be right now. Mr. Fava and Mr. Robbins, Ms. Fernando, I think we're good. Pete. One of the things I want to tell you, and I think I told your nephew, outside of the issues that you're having with Mount Vernon, one of the things that I want to absolutely put you on the pedestal here is that you have always been an incredible partner to the police department of the city of Mount Vernon. Whenever any police officer, anybody had an issue towing something, whether it be 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, you have always been there to help us, not looking for a paycheck. You never, you might not have billed for like 2 months or what have you. You have been an incredible partner to the city of Mount Vernon. The fact that you feel disrespected, I take that very personally, right? Because I know, and my brother-in-law, my husband, my brother, I know what you've done for the city of Mount Vernon, and whatever we could do to help you through this process, we're going to absolutely try and do that for you. And I believe that Councilwoman Brown had already expressed to you, please speak to Antoinette Anderson. Whatever we can do in our power to help you get through this process, we're there for you the way that you were there for the city of Mount Vernon. But I don't want people to think that your time that you dedicated for the city of Mount Vernon is very consequential. And I think that we should respect you the same way that you respected the process with us. So I thank you very much for your service to the city of Mount Vernon. And we'll do whatever we can to help you through the process. With that being said, we're going to take a 3-minute break. And then we're going to go straight into our referral session. Thank you. You pause Facebook.
How you doing?
Make yourself available.
Need a pen?
Yeah. You close it on the house. We're gonna. Yeah. And I'm
It's very helpful, very much in terms of the possibility. I'm trying to put it his name, the Italian name. That's Anthony. But I haven't used my phone. Very sweet guy. Set up. When you talk, what do you think of what you want? The other thing is, well, you guys.
Lights.
And the light. Light on yours.
We'll burn in that car.
Oh.
And so we, you know, you're making that we're going to be 25. You'll 51 times, you better go.
Right.
It'll be back in the not.
I think.
All right, everybody. No, yeah. All right, we are back. Welcome, Mount Vernon. We took a short break to speak to people that were in council chambers. We are going to go straight into the tally sheets. Starting with Councilwoman Brown, Legislation and Public Works.
Thank you, Council President. I have item number 1, an ordinance authorizing the Chief of Staff to attend the National League of Cities Annual Summit in Tampa, Florida from November 13th through the 16th, 2024. That's on the agenda. I have item number 2, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept funding from the Urban Renewal Agency in the Community Development Block Grant Funds and authorizing the Department of Public Works to purchase and install a prefabricated restroom and storage structure at Memorial Field Stadium. That is being held. It is being held because we haven't figured out the logistics of if we can actually do it, right? If we can fit the prefab in there. So item number 3 is an ordinance authorizing the amendment of ordinance number 9 adopted by the City Council on September 25th, 2024, entitled an ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an emergency contractual agreement with PCI Industries, Inc. for emergency sewer repairs at 27 Vernon Place. That is on the agenda. I have item number 4, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an emergency sewer rehabilitation contract agreement with PCI Inc. for the repair of stormwater and sanitary sewer systems at the intersection of 13th Avenue and 3rd Street. That is on the agenda. I have item number 5, an ordinance to authorizing the mayor to amend the agreement with National Water Main Cleaning Company for the cleaning and inspection of sewer systems within outfall 24 drainage area. That is being held. That completes my report. Thank you, Council.
Thank you so very much. Human Resources, Councilman Thompson is not here. Councilman Potteet will bring this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Item number 5 on the agenda from Recreation and ordinance authorizing the Department of Recreation to
It's
sponsor.
item number 6 on the
Thank you.
tally.
Item number 6 on the tally. Thank you. Let me start over. Item number 6 on the tally sheet from Recreation and ordinance authorizing the Department of Recreation to sponsor the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony and temporary closure of streets. Number 7 is on the agenda from Youth Bureau and ordinance amending ordinance number 29 adopted by the City Council on September 13th, 2023, entitled an ordinance requesting permission for the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Westchester Putnam Workforce Development Board. And item number 8 will be on the agenda from the Youth Bureau and ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept funds from the opioid settlement fund for the state fiscal year 2025 to be administered by the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau for opioid misuse prevention initiatives. And that's all that I have.
Thank you so much, Councilman Potteet. We are going back to Councilman Potteet for Public Safety and Codes.
I'm back. Item number 9 from Public Safety. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to renew a contract agreement with the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets for fuel inspection services. That will be on the agenda. Item number 10 will be on the agenda from Public Safety and ordinance authorizing one member of service to attend the FBI LEEDA Internal Affairs Investigation Training from November 11th to 15th, 2024. Item number 11 will be on the agenda from City Council, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon, New York, honoring and recognizing the retirement of firefighter John Del Gorcio. And item number 12 from City Council will also be on the agenda, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon, New York, honoring and recognizing the retirement of Fire Lieutenant Gerald Johnson III. And I don't have any add-ons. That's all I have.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions in regards to those items with public safety? All right, with that being said, going straight to Councilman Box Hill, Finance and Planning.
Sorry, Mr. President, there's only one question I have, which I guess we can address this in the next meeting. There were two other resolutions that we issued to the fire department, right? Or three?
Mayor.
Councilwoman Brown?
So the two other ones we did previously.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, moving forward, Finance and Planning, Councilman Box Hill.
All right, thanks you. Thank you again, Madam President. Number 13, Department of Assessment, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an application for correction for the tax years 2023 and 2024 for city, county, and school tax bills, directing the controller to issue a refund/credit to Metro Green Realty for Westchester LLC, that's 0 Oak Street, Block 164, 68, 1055-19, due to a correction of error. And that is on the agenda. Number 14, Office of the Controller, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of tax anticipation notes, TANs, in the aggregate principal amount of $7 million to meet the financial obligation of the city. And that is on the agenda.
Thank you so much. We are going to go, well, first and foremost, well, no, I'll say it going forward. Let's do a roll call, please. Thank you, DC Bonilla.
Thank you, Council President. Councilman Box Hill,
Present.
Councilwoman Brown,
Here.
Councilman Potteet,
Present.
Councilman Thompson is absent.
Here.
Council President Gleason.
That's okay, I got it. I'm here.
Okay.
With that being said, let us go into the final meeting agenda, starting with Councilwoman Brown, Legislation and Public Works.
Thank you, Council President. I have item number 1, an ordinance authorizing the Chief of Staff to attend the National League of Cities Annual Summit in Tampa, Florida in November. So moved.
Second.
On the question, hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Awesome. I have item number 2, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept funding to purchase the prefab. That's the item that's being held on the floor. Item number 3 is an ordinance authorizing the amendment of ordinance number 9 adopted by the City Council on September 25th, 2024, entitled an ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an emergency contractual agreement with PCI Industries, Inc. for emergency sewer repairs at 27 Vernon Place. So moved.
Second.
On the question, hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Item number 4, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an emergency sewer rehabilitation contractual agreement with PCI Industries for the repair of stormwater and sanitary sewer systems at the intersection of 13th and 3rd Street. So move.
Second.
On the question, hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye. Okay, with that being said, we're moving on to Human Resources. Co-chairperson Potteet.
Thank you, Council President. Item number 5 from Recreation, an ordinance authorizing the Department of Recreation to sponsor the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony and temporarily closing designated streets for the event. So moved.
Oh, that's me. Second.
Councilwoman Brown seconded. On the question. Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Item number 6 from Youth Bureau, and ordinance amending ordinance number 29 adopted by the City Council on September 13th, 2023, entitled an ordinance requesting permission for the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Westchester Putnam Workforce Development Board. So moved.
Second.
On the question. Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Item number 7 from Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept funds from the opioid settlement fund for the state fiscal year 2025 to be administered by the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau for opioid misuse prevention initiatives. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye. Moving on to public safety and codes, Councilman Potteet.
Thank you, Council President. Item number 8 from Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to renew a contract agreement with the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets for Fuel Inspection Services. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Item number 9 from Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing one member of service to attend the FBI LEEDA Internal Affairs Investigation Training from November 11th to 15th, 2024. So moved.
Second.
On the question? On the question, I just want to make sure that we keep up with the reports that are to come back to council. With that being said, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill, Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Item number 10 from City Council, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon, New York, honoring and recognizing the retirement of firefighter John Del Guercio. So moved.
Second.
Can you say it into the microphone? Is it on?
I did.
Okay. On the question? On the question, I just want to say that firefighter John Del Guercio, like most firefighters, is a hero here in the city of Mount Vernon, stayed for many years. It's unfortunate to see him go, but what I've learned over the past 3 years sitting on city council is that when they get their chance to leave, they need to leave because the amount of work on their bodies is so incredible that I'm happy to see him retire at an early age to enjoy his family. With that being said, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Item number 11 from City Council, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon, New York, honoring and recognizing the retirement of Fire Lieutenant Gerald Johnson III. So moved.
Second. Second.
On the question,
Yes, I have
Go ahead.
I just want to say the ceremony held by the fire department and Commissioner Norman yesterday at the Dole Center really was wonderful. The recognition of not only these two gentlemen, but three others. As you said, Council President, it's nice to see them go while they're still healthy, and also to make room for the younger firefighters coming in. So it was a beautiful ceremony yesterday, and I'm happy that I was there.
Anybody else? Personally, again, I would just like to say, you know, rising to the position of lieutenant is not easy. Staying as long as Lieutenant Johnson did was a feat in itself. And a lot of our current firefighters who are retiring also, not only do they fight fires on a regular basis, they were the first responders down at 9/11. And that's not something that we can ever forget, because there are going to be a new group of firefighters that come in that won't really understand the dedication that our first responders, not only our police, fire, EMTs, ambulances, but also the labor force endured during 9/11. But Lieutenant Johnson, I wish you the best of luck. Very many years that you dedicated to the city of Mount Vernon. I want you to go and have a great time in your retirement. God bless you. With that being said, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill, Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
I wholeheartedly. Going into finance and planning, Councilman Box Hill.
All right, thank you. Number 12, Department of Assessment, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an application for a correction for the tax years 2023 to 2024 for city, county, and school tax bills, and directing the controller to issue a refund credit to Metro Green Realty of Westchester LLC, 0 Oak Street, that's block 164.68, 1055-19, due to a correction of error.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
On the question. Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
I have to abstain. I actually do business with this particular business, so I do not feel comfortable voting on it. So I am abstaining. I believe that has to go to a second vote now.
Yes, all right. Number 13, moving on next.
Number 12 has
Okay.
to go to a second
No,
vote.
I'm saying I'm moving on. Did we, anything else on that? No, I'm saying moving on to the next one. Yeah. All right, Office of the Controller, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of tax anticipation notes, TANs, and the aggregate principal amount of $7 million to meet the financial obligations of the city. So moved.
Second.
On the question, Councilman Box Hill, would you like to put a little information in regards to this tax anticipation note?
Sure. This is a cash flow situation, just so that we can pay all the payroll and the bills for the end of 2024. And this is going to be paid for essentially through the tax that we're anticipating will come in by year end. This is kind of commonplace. Municipalities do this all the time. We do this at the county as well. So it's not a drawn out bond. It's a short term, which would be paid back within the next following year when the taxes are paid. So
Okay, just a quick question. Is there any interest
there,
involved in it?
So-
And if so, what is that?
the interest, so this has given us authorization to go out to find. So once we get a lender disapproved, then we'll find out what the actual rates are and such. So we don't have that information as yet.
Okay, so to be clear to the public, we're just kind of fact finding at this point.
Right, right.
This is not something that we're just going out for a proposal to
Correct.
see what we get back.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. With that being said, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye. Okay, with that being said, I want to invite council members to make any comments. Anybody interested in making a comment? Councilman Potteet, please.
Sure. We have a presidential election in a couple weeks. Please remember to go vote. If you can try to do phone banking, to folk living in a swing state. I will be going in a couple weeks to PA to knock on doors. If anyone needs help or wants to get out there to knock on doors in a swing state, please contact me. I did it back in 08 when Obama was running, and it does make a difference when people go and knock on doors in PA. It makes a very big difference in that area. So this election is way too close to call. So if you're nervous, like our former president Obama said, don't boo, vote. So take that nervous energy and let's go out and either call and phone bank or come out with me and let's go to PA and knock on some doors. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you so much. Anybody else?
No, I think it's important.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yeah, I think it's important not to just worry about the presidential elections. Is everyone having difficulty hearing me? So it's important to vote down ballot as well, and not just the presidential election. So we also want to think about all of our state elected officials, right? Our judges, those things. And also remember that voting isn't just a one-day thing. We do have early voting. We have mail-in ballots in New York, so let's take advantage of some of those. Let's also help some of our seniors get out, right? The folks who don't have rides, who don't know where they should be going. Let's make sure we're assisting. The election is serious, right? And I think we often forget here in Mount Vernon, the political power we can gain if we show out in numbers. So I think we have to participate in that. Other than that, I would say happy Halloween, everyone. Be safe and enjoy.
Councilman Boxill, you good? One thing, I'm gonna have Deputy Clerk Bonilla talk about the early voting. But one thing, I think that is very important for the community to understand that when they go and vote, you absolutely have to flip the ballot. There are propositions on the back of the ballot that you need to research, you need to understand. Anybody who needs information could go to any, I don't know, any Democratic. Okay, I'm gonna yield to Deputy Clerk Bonilla at this point so she could explain everything when it comes to early voting. Thank you, Deputy Clerk Bonilla.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to help you out a bit. Starting Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. here at City Hall and at the Dole Center, you can come and early vote. It's Saturday, Sunday, all through Friday, and again at the next weekend. The late nights till 8 o'clock are on Tuesday, October 29th, and Thursday, October 31st, which was Halloween. So you could do our trunk or treat at 2 Roosevelt and then early vote. Anyway, there's 2 events going on at the same time on Halloween. And also the general election is from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., but you have to go to your designated polling center. Anyone in Mount Vernon, anyone in Westchester County can come to City Hall and the Dole Center. And like Council President Gleason has stated, there are propositions. You can pick up a copy in the city clerk's office. Room 104 if you don't have access, or you can also see it at the Westchester County Board of Elections website. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, I know on Monday night, we ended the meeting in a moment of silence for Arlene Connolly O'Neill and her husband Sean O'Neill, who died tragically last Wednesday. Today, they had their funeral. at Annunciation in Crestwood. Again, I'd like to end the meeting in a moment of silence for them, but also ending October. October is Domestic Violence Prevention Month. I think that we should also have a moment of silence for all those that struggle. You'll notice that when our newsletter goes out this month, it focuses on mental health issues, domestic violence, and also suicide. So with that being said, a motion and then a moment of silence.
I would like to make a motion that we close this fine meeting.
That time my mic actually wasn't on. Second.
All right, with that being said, if we can have a motion of silence. Thank you, Mount Vernon. This is the end of our October 23rd public meeting. I just want to thank you all. It is the 23rd, right? Roll call, sorry, I keep forgetting to do that. Roll call. But I love our deputy clerk is on top of everything. Okay, do the roll call and then we're done.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
Again, thank you, Mount Vernon. Today is